Hello, friends, and welcome to a very special episode, maybe, of Much Review About Nothing. Kylo Ren is dead! On this podcast, we review a movie we haven't seen through cultural osmosis and what we can find on the internet. I'm your host, Darth Billy Greer.
And we're your co-hosts, Dark Jake and...
I guess I'm Darth Luke. I mean...
We really didn't come up with, cool ones. We just did our names.
Well, I thought of it the last second. So.
Oh, okay.
No,
I was wondering
what you do is you take, the last part of a word, and that's your Darth name. So we choose Darth Sidious, that's Darth Insidious. Darth Vader, that's Dark Invader. So I would be, let's see, what's a good? Darth Diet from Idiot. And you would be,
Darth Diet.
Yeah.
I'm, let's see, Darth Quacious for Loquacious.
I'm Darth Dantic for Pedantic.
There you go.
So there we go. We really should have redone the episode.
But I just,
we'll just leave that in.
And you can come up with your own Darth name. And people will be like, oh, wow, that sounds like a Sith name, because it is.
Yeah. I didn't think about that. But doesn't matter. We'll save all this in editing like the original Star Wars. So
yes.
Doesn't matter.
Inspection. Yeah. I kind of forgot about it a couple times.
Yeah,
so I didn't touch them at all.
Yeah.
I don't think really anything's changed much ever since we slowed down pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
I was going to be Darth Incompetent, but I realized that that's just Darth Competent.
Yeah, Darth Competent.
It didn't really work.
Nope.
So I don't really think we have anything other than just plans to try to get our name out there.
Yeah, I'm hoping 2020 will be kind of the year of promotion for the podcast.
Yeah,
for myself personally, I've got some plans.
I would also like to give a shout out to this week's special sponsor, the Russian Federation, for paying us to hate on the new Disney film. So I want to give a shout out to Putin there.
Yes,
thanks for the rubles.
As proud Russian bots, we thank you for giving us this chance. So yeah, nothing major for inspection. Just have big plans. But it's at the time of recording, it's 2 days after Christmas. I'm drinking out of my new Nightmare Before Christmas mug, and
trying to flex on all the viewers. Really?
Yes, with my bounty.
This is proof that we like Disney and we will accept sponsorship money from them.
That's true. We like certain elements of Disney. Although I think I like the Tim Burton and Henry Selick elements of that film a little bit more. But I was going to say, despite all the merriment we've had, we now have to commit to this grim duty, this grim task of looking into the new Star Wars film. The Rise of Skywalker. And what a rise it was.
Now, personally, before we get into the trailer, we were really excited about this final film.
Oh, yes. For all the wrong reasons. Yes.
Because The Last Jedi... I mean, the Last Jedi was essentially a corpse thrown into the well of Star Wars. And then afterwards, J.J. Abrams, he took the corpse out and said, hey, you want to drink from this well now, basically. Yes. And so it's, the water's been tainted, unfortunately.
What I like about The Rise of Skywalker, and what I think it gets right, is that it has united the fan base, because the people who hated The Last Jedi still hate this, and the people who like The Last Jedi but were upset with all the retcons now hate this. So now everyone kind of hates this.
Yeah.
And I wanted to put this in that I think a con to this movie is The Last Jedi.
Yeah.
It really was holding it back.
Yeah. Yep, that's the thing. I didn't know if I was going to bring it up now, but it kind of, it's come up anyways. So I don't know. I don't blame JJ for this.
Not really.
No, because I've seen a lot of people dunking on JJ, saying it's all his fault, blah, blah, blah.
It is, but it's not that bad.
No, but like Jake was saying, he was given a poisoned well, and it was like, here, turn this into lemonade.
Yeah.
There's.
Oh, I could turn into lemonade really easy.
Okay, well, not that kind of
but you'll kill your consumer base. So,
Is that what you want to do nowadays?
Okay, well, you're spinning this completely out of control. My point is, for JJ, this was a no-win situation. And everyone forgets, way back in the year of 2015, the year of our Lord, everyone was super excited for Star Wars, and everyone was like, "Oh, Star Wars is back!" After they saw the movie, he's revived it. What a great job, JJ! And admittedly, upon repeated watches, movie does not exactly hold up that well.
No, I do want to get into this, talk about the whole trilogy. I think we should go into the trailer and then really start dynamic discussion.
Okay, well, I'll finish my thought here, and then we'll get into it. But the movie, it doesn't hold up, and I don't like the film, but there was hope. There was these characters are pretty likable. They have a lot of potential. I want to see where this goes. And it wasn't in an ironic way. Now we were super excited about The Rise of Skywalker. It was completely ironic.
Yeah.
But also a little seriously, because in the same way of, I want to see this car crash, this train wreck occur, a morbid sort of way.
And I was waiting for The Rise of Skywalker because I know that a lot of my favorite YouTubers are now going to upload it.
Yes,
and I'm really excited
get
about
reviews. That was another good part. But I feel like, the only point I want to make was I feel like the JJ hate is a little unfair. He may not be the most, creative storyteller, but in terms of visual action, as a director, as someone who can kind of inject new life, you may not agree with the sort of life he gives these new franchises. I don't know. I don't want to be unfair to him, because in this third one, he was given a raw deal. Someone essentially, like we said, poisoned the well, and then he had to make, something drinkable out of it. And I don't think it's fair to him to just dunk on him. But that's,
Yeah, I mean, I've realized I'm not too big a fan of Jar Jar Abrams. But,
I'm not either, but I think the hate he's getting is out of proportion. That's all I'm saying.
Too.
All I'm saying is let's be a little kinder.
Yeah,
not completely
I think
kind,
there should be a forward that really none of the hate should go to the actors.
No,
I mean, the director shares a little blame.
Yeah.
The writers are a major one, and then the production company or the producers usually should have all the blame, pretty much.
I'm not
saying it should be upper management that gets blasted, not actors and
actors definitely not. The layman, the average, the working man.
What disappoints me about this new Star Wars trilogy is it's just the trilogy of missed opportunities.
Yes, and we're going to talk more about that.
We can probably start that off.
Yeah.
I just want to watch the trailer.
Yeah, let's get into it. But definitely blame Rian Johnson and Kathleen Kennedy, but not the actors.
Never the actors.
No. Well, I mean, if they say dumb things, then yes, but not for their performance.
Yeah, not for their...
Not if they're doing their best.
Yeah.
They don't have any control, All right, now we're watching the trailer.
Well, 2/3 of us.
Well, let me turn it. The Force is contractually obligated at this point, so it's not saying much.
It's now a get out of jail free plot card.
So,
we knew that the Force, a central pillar of Star Wars, would be the shackle that holds it back.
Well, I did want to talk about the Force, but first, remember jumping into the teaser trailer? It's that was the laugh of Palpatine, and people were like, "Oh, there's no way he's back. They would never do that. It's obviously just an influence or something, or he's going to play a minor role." No, he's just back.
No, and they don't even really explain it, I don't think.
No.
I heard people say it's explaining the opening title crawl that no one reads.
Oh, great.
It's either explaining the opening
people
title
read
crawl,
the title
or
crawl.
they made some book often, whatever.
I never had to read a book to understand what's going on, the prequels or the midquels.
No, I know.
And
it's a lousy excuse, is what it is. But
let's get into the Force. We're going to be talking about Star Wars. I mean,
the
Force.
Is this dynamic discussion?
We're in dynamic discussion.
Yeah, and I didn't know how we were gonna. This episode structure is probably gonna be a little different, just because we have such a vast swath of material to go through.
Yeah, and this is going to be a little bit more serious episode, I guess. There will be...
I don't know. We'll see what happens.
But the Force, from the original 3 going into like the prequels was a flawed concept, as in like I feel like the Force had been corrupted essentially.
Well, it was never like in the originals. It was never that overpowered. You know, you could do pretty amazing things, but
it was also just a tool. Like it wasn't necessarily. Was there actually dark side powers and light side powers and all this hoo-ha or whatever? Or was it just that the person using it was evil, the person using it was good?
There was no light or dark side powers.
Because Luke
the delineation
did a Force crush, but it doesn't matter because he did it to an evil creature.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, he did that.
The delineation was less pointed at that juncture.
And only Palpatine shot lightning out because that was to show that
he's very powerful.
He didn't need a lightsaber.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, I think originally the Sith weren't gonna, or like certain Sith weren't gonna have lightsabers because Palpatine said it's the weapon of a Jedi.
Yeah.
And all
that's true. I didn't think. But
and Darth Vader had one because he was a Jedi at one point, so it made sense for him to have one.
Well, the lore got changed.
It did, and it kind of ruined it because now it got confused because now there's balance to the Force, and it's not a balance between good and evil. It's only if good is around, but if dark is around, the Force is unbalanced, so the Force can never be balanced because there's always going to be evil.
I always thought that balance in the Force kind of meant like you had the Force, it was in balance, you know, like a river. It was you kept going, and the Sith were abusing the Force. They were like putting pipes in or blocking it off, you know, and so you had to remove so that I mean I never really thought of it as having you need equal light, you need equal dark.
Well, no, that's a misconception. The equal light, equal dark. But even just the concept of the Force being unbalanced because there's evil users is really dumb because then you get into the cyclical nature that never ends, and then the Star Wars universe becomes very depressing.
Well, you know, the problem with the Force, you know what its weakness is? Its greatest enemy?
George Lucas?
Bad writing.
Yeah, bad writing.
Yeah, people who didn't think about the implications of the things they were doing.
I mean, people say that, like, there's not a whole lot to Star Wars. I'm like, yeah, there is. It's just hampered by poor writing.
Yeah, because they always want to stick with the same small cast. That's another thing. They should never, I probably said this in our feature review, but they should never have done the original characters at all.
Well, I thought of this. The scale of this trilogy should have been much smaller and focused more on the new characters. I think you could have had the older characters, but they're in high bureaucracy. They're trying to control what is left of the Empire, make their own republic kind of thing. They should have been off in the distance, too big, you know, and then you have these small scale things with our heroes and the evil bad guys. And then maybe later in the final climax, the evil bad guys are bigger than everybody expected. And then,
we need help.
You know, the only ones who really figured it out were our heroes, and they go off and defeat them, basically.
Can the evil bad guys be something else besides Empire loyalists and Sith? I mean...
Well, there should have been a new threat. It should have been like, you know, Luke and Leia and Han, they saved the universe from the Empire. Empire is basically dead, but there's some new alien threat, some new, like, enemy that's emerging, and there are new heroes are on the forefront because they're young.
No, the expanded universe did that. It was like the Yuzad Vong.
Yeah, and ironically, that's what the Empire was afraid of. That's why they were gathering their forces, because they were afraid of this like infringing enemy.
Yeah, I mean,
the Empire did nothing wrong.
But
That's what I'm saying.
But that would once again take risk in creative writing.
No one
wants to take risk anymore.
No, well, they didn't think about this at all. They just wanted to let's kind of try to play the hits and do it again.
Yeah, they just made the same movie.
Yeah.
Or honestly, it feels like they made the same movie over and over again.
Well, they did.
They just made the first part of Star Wars 3 times.
Yeah, because there was no linear plot laid out. It was like, okay, that's another thing I wanted to bring up was that the Force Awakens, good intro. The Last Jedi, you go back to zero, basically. So then the third movie has to be the beginning again. It has to set up a new plot, because I was thinking of it, you know, like some in the past on YouTube I've seen like, hey, let's get a comment story going, and then be like, a man was, and then someone will just write the end, and then that's what Rian Johnson did to the series. You know, that's another reason I don't want to blame Jar Jar Abrams too much, because he had to basically start over because Rian Johnson cut all his plot threads.
Yeah. Well, and that's the fall of Kathleen Kennedy. Why the crowd did she give it to Rian Johnson in the first place? Why not just stick with...
She likes him for some reason.
She loves him.
Think of him something else. Why not just stick with Jar Jar? It doesn't make any sense.
I know, he may as well. He probably could have done a better job. It would have been at least a plot that
it would have been mediocre, but that's better than what we got.
Because that's another thing. People are saying, like, this is like 6 movies combined into one. And it's because he's had to combine Star Wars Episode, 8 and 9 together because Star Wars Episode 8 accomplishes nothing. What happens in Episode 8 has any bearing on it? Nothing.
It didn't progress. It just destroyed.
Yeah. Because you could just say, oh, Luke's already died. He died in a battle. So that's why he's a ghost now.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. Nothing was accomplished.
No.
Except Snoke dying, but he was irrelevant anyways. So
yeah, because we got Palpatine. Palpatine's back.
Yeah.
Woo.
I love how in the Episode 7 when they did the First Order didn't really speak highly of Palpatine. Didn't Hux call him a little goblin?
Did he? I don't recall that.
No, I don't remember that.
I thought he did.
Yeah. But see, that's the problem. They didn't plan this from the start. That's what kills me.
Yeah.
Like in the original trilogy, they didn't plan it, but they didn't know they were going to get 2 other movies. They thought it'll be a one and done. They were surprised it even had a modicum of success, let alone,
But they pulled it out.
No, because then they were like, okay, well, let's logically build from this.
And pretty much the same people from 4 worked on 5 and 6.
Yeah. It's like, let's tell a story, not let's play a game of telephone with multi-million-dollar movies.
The Star Wars trilogy is a game of telephone.
It's a game of telephone. It's the conclusion of a game of telephone. I wanted to say that Disney... They could have been heroes in all this. I thought about it for 5 minutes one time at work.
Yeah, I was riding high on the Marvel success.
No. They could have said, "Oh, we're not planning much right now, but we are doing this." And then they released the original Star Wars, the 3, with no George Lucas stuff in it. The original 3, they released them in theaters. Introduced this to a whole new generation.
No, that would have been brilliant.
Older people would have taken their kids would have seen it. Yeah. Free money right there. And fans would have loved you because you took out George Lucas. And then after that's done, you release it. The end, space it out month, 3 months maybe each month for a Star Wars movie. The final one, you drop in a teaser for the new series. Yeah. Boom, fans go wild. You could have just done that. You would have
bought some time.
Satiated the fans, introduced it to everyone, and then say, we're telling our own new story with this. Yeah.
No, you could have taken a whole year. I don't know if that's what you were saying.
Or just any amount of time.
Like every 3 months, a new old movie in theaters.
I would have gone seen it in movies.
Theaters. The problem is, I don't know if there's still some legal issue where George technically still owns the original 3 in some capacity. They bought the IP. I don't know if they bought his movies. That's the thing. That'd be the only problem. But otherwise, even if not, just saying, "Hey fans, we care about you. We're going to take a year or 2 to really nail down this story." But they didn't want to wait because that's all this money.
Yeah, it's just sitting in the bank, I guess.
But see, that's the thing. They didn't want to delay gratification. They're like, it's Star Wars. It's too. And I mean, in their defense, it is making a lot of money. But it's going to have no lasting kind of legacy. Just
make smaller films that don't really matter. Why does it? I mean, I get it. Everyone's going big, but my thing is, I think it's time for movies to go back down and make a smaller, with a lower budget, with constraints, and see what you can do with it.
Well, The Mandalorian, is that what you're going to say?
No, I was going to say the Joker movie.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That made $1 billion, and it had a small budget.
And The Mandalorian is the most popular Disney, Star Wars franchise at this point.
Yes.
Because it's probably not like anything else they've done
before.
Well,
it's very small scale. It's little stories that are interesting.
It's original. It's not about Sith and Jedi.
Dude, Baby Yoda had the entire weight of the Star Wars franchises on that little creature's back.
Okay, I'm sorry, but Baby Yoda is the opium of the masses, all right? And it's just... It's purposely manipulative.
Yeah,
all right?
I don't like him from that standpoint.
You gotta wake up, sheeple.
Yeah. They just shrunk Yoda 2 inches. They gave him bigger eyes. I mean, he's cute. I can't deny it. But there is that angle where it just feels like, You like this, right? Please come back to the franchise. We need your money.
The one thing that detracts from my point is the fact that it's going to take till like 2021 to actually get some like plushies of them. Apparently.
I know, that's the thing.
It's ridiculous.
That's the one thing I'm thinking. Maybe he was a complete accident.
He was an accident, because if he wasn't, I guarantee his face would have been put over everything on T-shirts by now. But
I think he was supposed to be cute, and eventually they could sell.
Yeah, they didn't expect he would blow up.
They didn't expect this.
Well, maybe that's why he does feel so fresh and pure, is because he wasn't purely evil for money making.
Maybe I'm wrong.
I don't know.
I want to say, even though I'm a big old pessimist over Star Wars now, I will say this, that I think that Baby Yoda is a pure accident.
Maybe. I hope he is.
He's a happy accident.
Because there is that angle of the opium of the masses where, but then again, like
isn't that all entertainment is opium?
That's true. It's a dumb argument to begin with. I guess
mostly as a joke, just because I like saying Baby Yoda is the opium of the masses. That was really why I did that.
But I lost my train of thought. There was some thumping that threw me off. I thought someone was going up the stairs. I was like, "Oh no,
they're both through orange shields.
We're being raided. Disney's coming after us finally." But there is like the evidence to him not being completely like corporate is the fact that there was like Porg plushies before I even knew what a Porg was.
Yeah, that one they totally planned, and that didn't go anywhere.
Ryan Johnson showed it to my house with a box full of them, and he's like, "Oh, did I subvert your expectations by showing up?" And then he just thrust them upon me.
Sounded a little bit like George Lucas there, and then you pulled off his mask. It was actually George Lucas the whole time.
Ryan Johnson was actually George Lucas the whole time.
I ate your Porg plushies, by the way.
Either that he's like Snoke is a clone of.
It is. It's exactly like that.
So yeah, Ryan Johnson is a Snoke clone of
a corrupted
George Lucas.
Clone of George Lucas. They raid George Lucas's house, and there's a bunch of Ryan Johnsons in tubes.
Yeah, floating in the tubers. So Khan's Ruin Johnson is George Lucas clone.
Is that a con though?
I don't know.
But there's more of him, so that's a con.
Because George Lucas is a hack, ultimately.
Yeah.
He's the man who had some concepts and he won the lottery because they managed to edit something good out of it. You give him free, creative control. He makes the prequels. Yeah. Now, to the prequels' credit, it wasn't just a rehashing of the same movie.
That's the thing. I have weird feelings about George Lucas because he's clearly a very creative man.
He's better than Ryan Johnson and probably better than Jar Jar. That's debatable. At least in the writing department.
Jar Jar is probably a better director, better action like constructor, and like pushing a story forward and making it engaging for the audience. But George Lucas is kind of just a well of rampant creativity. It's kind of like a mad genius.
What if you combine them? What if you had George Lucas writing plus maybe one other person to kind of keep George Lucas in check, and then Jar Jar just fully directing? I mean, I think you could come up with something pretty good there. I'm just saying.
That's the thing. We need to clone a hybrid of all three.
Oh my goodness.
You could leave Ryan Johnson out, maybe, but maybe
definitely leave Ryan Johnson
I'm thinking maybe just like part of like his ears or his just like one little like one tiny part of his brain, like that subversive streak, just for a little dark flavor.
Well, why get him when you just get in that Shyamalan?
Okay, well either way, but you get, like you were saying, you get George Lucas's creativity. You get J.J. Abrams' ability to direct action and, be a crowd pleaser.
And you get someone else to write.
Yeah, and then you get, I don't know, you try to find, like, you scoop out a non-crazy part of Alan Moore and you pack it in there.
I don't think that's possible.
No, I know, it's all corrupted at this point. But in a perfect world, okay?
Go find his little rag-ass treehouse.
Him would exist.
Yeah.
But this is not a perfect world.
Yeah. We're onto something.
Yeah.
Something very stupid, but we're onto something.
Yeah, well, that cloning technology, it's out there with, Mark Wahlberg and Will Smith.
Yeah.
So.
It exists.
Oh
I don't know. At the end of it all, it's not even that I feel disappointed. I
feel empty.
I was hoping this movie would be... Like, it's a mess, but I was hoping it would be more of an unholy mess. I was hoping for more Schadenfreude, and now I just feel like, I don't know.
Sad.
Like a friend, we had a falling out, and I was super mad, and then he's like killed in an accident, and now I can't feel mad anymore. I'm just tragically like holding him in my arms.
Well, it kind of feels like, looking at the reviews, I feel like Cassandra in Greek mythology, where she can see the truth, and she speaks truth, and it comes true, but no one believes her. You know, but. In regards to quotes, I took this JonTron quote from his Connect video, and it's just in regards to our original characters who have appeared in this movie and all just been killed off unceremoniously, basically.
Yeah, the original cast.
And like even like Yoda appearing. I guess it's a planet where everyone does really bad impressions of beloved Star Wars characters. I mean, that's these movies, basically.
Well, yeah, the new cast, they're all kind of just, facilities.
Well, not just that, just our old people like Luke and Yoda and, all that. They're just like, just bad impressions.
I don't hate this movie, or do I feel completely apathetic.
Well, we haven't seen it either.
Well, you know what,
we will see it, though.
Will we? I don't know. There's part of me that just doesn't even want to ever delve into it, but maybe.
I thought we were going to go sailing with our black flags, but
I would like closure.
Closure?
Yeah.
Did you have to see it at the end?
I have to see it to the end. I'm sitting by the bedside of a dying loved one.
Yeah.
I can't get up and leave. I have to sit there and wait for the to happen. Then I can get up and leave.
I feel you.
Another thread that I want to talk about is Rey.
Right,
like people have a problem with like her powers and stuff like that. I do. I have a bigger problem with her characterization, though. The fact that
he doesn't have one.
Well, yeah, I would have really liked a more cynical and kind of lived person.
World weary.
Yeah, world weary. A little bit as a hero because of her background. Like it's great that she's starry-eyed, but that works for Luke. It doesn't work for Rey.
Yeah, because Rey's been an orphan all her life, living basically like a slave, scraping by for food. Luke grew up on like a really nice moisture farm.
Yeah, it's like a suburban kid.
Yeah, he's a middle-class kid. You know, he wants to go see the world. And Rey's over here, like, I gotta eat tonight. You know,
but no, she's some sort of starry-eyed. I know my parents are gonna be coming back. I'm so naive and.
I don't know if it was Staklasa or Mike Staklasa from Red Letter Media who said it, but someone kind of said something along the same lines of like she should have been like burnt by the world, jaded, but there's like still that part of her that like wants to believe and trust someone.
Well, it would have actually provided conflict with like the fact that she's a Jedi and that she's supposed to be on the light side, but how can she do that after what she's experienced?
Yeah,
basically?
She has so much anger towards just life in general.
Yeah.
But see, they didn't want. That's the thing. These movies are just kind of neutered, gray messes because they don't.
They're very safe.
Yeah, that's the thing. They're safe. They don't want to. Disney wanted little girls to look at Rey and say, "That's me. That's my avatar. I want to buy 5,000 toys of this character." That's all they wanted. But they don't want.
It's disgusting.
That's the thing. That's what I don't understand. But they didn't want to give her an edge because they're afraid. Oh, well, she'll scare the kids off. But that's the thing. If you don't give a character personality, people don't get invested in them, and the kids don't care about the characters.
Everyone looks down on kids, but you gotta give some. You gotta give stuff to kids that they can grasp on.
There's gotta be something for them to relate to.
Some of the best cartoons and stuff like that. And one excuse people give is, "Oh, it's just for kids" or whatever. But that should never be an excuse for terrible writing.
No.
And dude, I'm tired of this thing. Like Star Wars has always been for. No, it hasn't.
No, it was for all audiences.
It was for everyone.
It's like it's got ridiculous space wizards or whatever. Oh yeah.
It says amputations and betrayal and genocide. Yeah. A planet gets obliterated in like the first 30 minutes.
I don't think you want to have your little kids see Slave Leia.
Yeah, that's not for kids.
That's not for kids.
No.
I don't care what you say.
It wasn't for kids.
No. I know that's what disappoints me about this cast. I was going to say this kind of towards the end, and we still can. I thought we kind of
like an essay.
Well, I thought we'd I'll save it for it, but I thought we'd kind of go through the cast and like critique them and like give our opinion on each one.
Other thoughts as well.
But this is me going through the cast. Missed opportunity.
Yeah, well,
that's the overriding thing. But like, what could have improved them? Like, let's give some constructive criticism. Yeah. Rey need to be more gritty and just like worn down by the world.
Let's save this because we got a lot more just
stuff
to wade through. We'll make a note to.
Did we want to go over some of our predictions and see how those line up, or did we had the We're thinking about looking at like basically the plot lines of the movie. I know we don't usually go that in depth, but this is a very special episode.
Yeah, I was going to because
we do have some that I know for sure that the Billy's prediction. Palpatine, he's either a clone or alive. I'm going to give him full points for that one. Honestly, I'd give you 5 points, but I don't know.
Because he's just alive. He's like on super life support. No explanation.
He gets the people not watch Return of the Jedi. He got atomized.
Yeah. In regards to that, I want all our listeners to go look into YouTube. Go to Star Wars Connect Ghost and Stuff. Skip to about... You can watch Darth Vader dance, but you just gotta watch Palpatine dance, because that's how I feel.
Star Wars Connect Ghost and Stuff?
Yeah.
The song
it's the dance-off, basic. Empire dance-off. It's so great. Or I'm sure everyone has... You can watch the Worthy Kids Palpatine one. But that's how we all feel, basically.
Yeah. Animator on YouTube, Worthy Kids, hilarious stuff. He did a hilarious little short about Palpatine, which, honestly, you kind of have to use it as canon, because there's no explanation in the movie.
We did we want to go over some more of these?
Yeah, I want to go through the plot, but before I get into that, this will kind of lead into that. Yeah. I've been seeing going around this notion that, like, you can't please Star Wars fans.
Right.
Like, ultimately, it's just the fans' fault for not being happy with anything.
But you can. The Mandalorian's proof of that.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm going to say. The thing is, are the fans being too strict? Or is it just they're being given garbage products?
Well, let me tell you, we're either being spat upon or just pandered to.
Yeah.
We're not dogs.
Yeah.
Give us good stories. That's all you need to do is just write good stories. Give us interesting stuff, and we will like it.
I know. There's always just this side that's like, oh no, it's
because they want to work in Hollywood ultimately. I don't want that coming back up.
Yeah, they're like, we got to blame the fans for this, but they say we get hung up on like minutia,
Oh, like, you mean the minutia, such as ramming a ship at hyperspeed through a bunch of enemy ships, the small stuff.
Small stuff. Palpatine's just alive for some reason. We should be happy about that.
That's just nitpicking.
Yeah, but my other point was going to be, like, at the end of the day, if the minutia is truly trivial and the story is really good, you forgive a multitude of sins. I'm not going to tell you the original trilogy is perfect.
No, it isn't.
But the good story, the interesting characters, just this wholesome classic tale, it covers a multitude of sins. Yeah. And I hate this fan blaming.
I don't want the original movies again.
No.
Ever.
It's breach on completely.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. And, if you have some detractors because you didn't do the original 3, just...
If that's their only criticism, then you've done something right.
You have done something right.
Well, I mean, sure, some fans get toxic, but at the end of the day, they're just people yelling on the internet. Yeah. They have no control over anything. They're just upset. Like Henry Cavill said, these people are passionate. They're going to get upset when they feel like they've been spat on.
My boy Henry Cavill. Yeah. He's still wasted.
I know.
I heard I heard The Witcher's pretty bad.
Yeah, I don't know. I've heard like it's okay.
Thanks. From what I've heard, the critics were giving it bad reviews despite not watching it.
Really?
Which is what we're doing. Yes. But still, this is all for good fun. Yeah. They actually get paid and influence people.
But yeah, I guess I'm trying to read through my notes, but the major thing that kind of people go back to is that, like, for something that the fans are being too hard on is the fact Luke is, like, kind of fallen. And I'm not saying that plotline could not have worked. Because it makes sense. Okay, the older kind of jaded hero meets the younger hero who kind of sparks life back into him.
Yeah, but...
And he ultimately...
but I'm seeing a problem here, because if we had a jaded... We can't have a jaded Luke and a jaded Rey.
Well, you can't, not in that sense, but, like, in this...
No, well, just forget, like, our read.
All right.
If you're going in this angle and, like, him being against the Jedi, that to me that just felt like Rian Johnson reading about
Reddit post.
Yeah, reading articles about someone critiquing the prequels and, like, using that to fuel Luke's dialogue. You know, like, the Jedi are wrong, blah blah blah.
From my point of view, the Jedi are evil.
Yeah, but I mean, all that aside, his narrative was carried out horribly.
Yeah.
They act like, oh, this is some grand redemption for him, but ultimately all it comes down to is he hides for something plus years on an island because he's given up.
I understand because he left a map to find them.
Well, I still can't figure out how that map works.
Because that Jar Jar had something, and then Ryan Johnson was like, "Ha! I got this."
Did Ryan Johnson even watch episode 7?
Well, I can't figure out if he left a map or they pieced it together from places he had been.
But it was in R2D2.
I don't know.
He had most of the map.
That's
like,
true.
what was the point of the map? I'm sorry.
I don't.
It's
it
like
was
we
another
have one
bot
portion
storyline
of the map, but R2D2, he has all of the map pretty much, except for this one little bit.
Yeah. Okay, but
let's get back to the Rise of Skywalker.
Well, I'm trying to build to it. Everything turns it because we have so much to talk about. Everything builds into this insane digression. But basically, my point was he's super depressed on this island. He's given up. Rey comes. He barely trains her. They end on very bad terms because he chickens out basically, and she beats him in a sword fight and just leaves him in the rain like a sad old man. She goes off, and then he eventually decides, you know what, I should help out, but
I'll just vote it in.
I'm going to, I'm going to do the bare minimum. So,
and then he dies.
He did not even commit to the storyline he created because he didn't want Luke to be that, he didn't want Luke to accomplish too much.
Which is why the original character should have been far, far away, dealing with bigger problems, so that way it didn't interfere with our hero.
Yeah, but my main point here is that people are saying like, oh, you guys just don't like that your sacred cow Luke was, ever shown to be a weak human. No, it's just he got no meaningful redemption.
He was a weak human in the original 3. That was the point.
Yeah, he overcame it. Then he's just like right back to where he was, and he has no bearing on the plot. He's just sad and pathetic, and then he dies, accomplishing like a distraction.
Is a regression back to where it was.
Yeah.
That Han Solo went back to his, smuggling ways where he doesn't care about anything. Leia's still a leader, except she's less
effective. She's like senile.
Yeah, she's a senile leader. And then
it's just sad.
And then Luke settles
It's a space coke. It wreaks havoc on your brain. Well, rest in peace, Carrie, for sure. Yeah,
this saddens me.
I know, it's just depressing to talk about. But all that to say, I'm not against Luke having a redemption arc in the new trilogy.
Yeah.
Thing is, wasn't an arc. It was just Luke sucks, and then he sucks slightly less at the end. That's the entirety of it.
He didn't even. He just died.
Yeah, he died distracting them.
All right, let's get back to the Rise of Skywalker, because I know that The Last Jedi is a black pit from which you will never escape from.
But The Last Jedi provides all the context you need for this movie, basically.
Yes.
Why this movie it is like it is.
And Mr. Plinkett said, referring to his son, Ryan Johnson, who's his second son, this war will never end. Son, you may have single-handedly ended it, And he did, basically. But
I had to do it.
But I wanted to bring that out because I was sick of all this fan blaming instead of blaming the people who ruined the stories. I feel like I'm taking crazy pills.
That's what I'm talking
about. There's only war.
That's what I'm saying, that we're like Cassandra from the Greek mythologies. We know the truth, but nobody will ever listen.
Yes. I get the narrative he was going for. It was just handled horribly.
Billy's turning red.
Billy has a master's in creative writing, so this really affects him.
You don't need a master's. You could have a basic understanding.
You could have less than a basic understanding. Yeah, honestly, we've explained this to a monkey and he got enraged.
You could be a middle schooler and you would understand. Okay. Well,
Billy's upset.
I get in. It is a black hole.
Yeah, it is.
It is the dark side. It calls to you, and you just get sucked in.
I think we talked about it, but when we went on our ship with the black flag on the Last Jedi, we talked about the Last Jedi for like 3
We haven't stopped talking. We've talked about it for 2 years.
We can never.
It's 2019.
We get dragged in. It's almost 2020 for
We've been talking about it since November 2017.
We have.
There has been very few days that have gone by.
We can't stop.
It ruined my life.
Or I wonder if it improved it.
I don't know.
Man, I will say that I think in the long run it did improve our lives because now we're much more aware of corporate scumbaggery and stuff.
Oh,
it really has changed my life and how I view modern fandom and pop culture.
Yeah.
Remember this PSA that there's plenty of room on our ship. I'm just saying.
Yes.
For the Mandalorian, or or any other movie you want to see from our Mickey overlord,
Yes.
you know, the black flag is always
I
waving.
feel like we should give Mandalorian an exception since I guess it is the
No, I'm saying that, well, you want to support it, but I also don't want to support Disney.
No, that's the
kind of
thing. You have to buy their Netflix just to watch it.
And then they'll sell it to the deep web.
Yeah. Okay, well, let's get into the plot and our predictions, but let's take a little break here because I'm getting super hot. I'm sweating through my pants. Alright, so now my face is turned gray and full of veins and my eyes are yellow, so I think my transformation into a Sith is complete.
Good, beat your hatred.
It was long overdue.
But yeah, I was gonna like go beat for beat through the plot, but
I think we should focus more on our predictions because that's what we have basically.
We did do a future review.
Yeah, we did a future review. But I think there was one thing that really could have saved this movie. They didn't have to change anything except this one thing. There's no Palpatine. There's Darth Jar Jar. Darth Jar Jar could have single-handedly saved it. I'm telling you.
no, it probably would have.
Because then it would have just been a representation of, haha, this is all a joke, basically.
Yeah, but it would have been so absurd. People would have just had to have gone to see it just to.
I would have given my money to Darth Jar Jar.
Yeah, I probably would have.
And we would have had a good laugh about it.
Yeah.
If you want to, you can search Darth Jar Jar Rise of Skywalker videos. And at the end of the trailer, it's just, Misa back!
I wish.
No one's ever really gone.
See, that's we're talking about all these missed opportunities.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Jar Jar's wasting his life away in the streets of Theed as a clown.
Is that true?
That is his ultimate fate.
Well, isn't that Legends now?
No, that's canon.
Oh, okay.
That was just some angry fan punishing George Lucas for creating Jar Jar. He's gonna die in the streets as a sad clown.
Well, no, it's what happens is that he's a clown, but all the kids like him, all the adults are annoyed by him. So he finds this orphan. He kind of takes this orphan underneath his wing as a clown apprentice. And it's just them discussing. It's very surreal.
What is this? The leaves talking to each other in Bambi? I mean,
Basically, yes.
That's a weird part.
It's like the plot of some like Renaissance era like tale of thieves and playwrights and stuff.
All right, let's go over some of our predictions that we have.
Very Shakespearean end for Jar Jar.
I kind of broke them down to Palpatine, Jedi Tomes, Rey, Luke, Skywalker. That's a separate category. Rose Tico, Knights of Ren, and Death Weapon.
Are we gonna talk about Rose Tico?
We are. I have one interesting fact that I don't know if you...
lack of.
Yeah.
Or lack of Rose Tico.
All right, so Palpatine, Billy was correct. Palpatine is either a clone or alive. He's actually, Billy gets 2 points for that because Snoke was a clone of Palpatine. So Billy, right on the money.
Yeah.
You said yes to the Jedi Tones. You said Rey is a Skywalker, which is wrong.
Kinda.
But not completely
But
wrong.
this was about like who her parents were.
Yeah.
His Rey parents. Luke is going to be revived. He was a Force Ghost, right?
I think.
Okay. Billy has Skywalker as everyone, which is correct. So another point for Billy.
Well, anyone can. I don't know. Is it everyone or is it just anyone who wants it now?
That's what I'm saying. That's what it meant by Skywalker.
Because Rey takes the name Skywalker.
That's what I mean. Skywalker's everyone, as in it becomes a title.
She takes everything else quite out of the name, Takes the lightsaber,
yeah.
the ships, and all that. Friends, C-3PO, she takes everything.
See, it's the classic. See, people don't like calling her Mary Sue. To say it's sexist, but it's true. That's a defining attribute.
The only thing
is the Mary Sue comes in, gets all the cool items, and all the characters' friends love her and stuff. And,
all the friends love her. Even though C-3PO has no reason to, because I don't think they ever share any dialogue with each other.
Yeah.
She gets Han Solo's ship.
Yeah.
She gets Luke Skywalker.
She gets Chewbacca.
She gets Chewbacca.
Yeah.
She gets R2-D2. She gets BB-8. She gets everyone. She gets all the Force powers.
It's classic Mary Sue. I'm
really
sorry.
is.
I'm sorry.
And she gets her own bad guy parent.
Yeah, she's got a troubled lineage. That's exactly what you do. You either make them from the hero or the villain.
Yeah, they're either related to someone major.
Which I really despise I hate the destiny thing of Anakin's he's gonna bring balance to the Force, but I also hate that whole stupid lineage thing where you either have to be of the Skywalker or the Palpatine breed. Can't be just someone normal who got lucky with Force powers. It always has to come from some lineage or something stupid.
I just felt like JJ went back and was like, what do they think she was? So Obi-Wan, Skywalker,
up,
Palpatine.
He went to YouTube, put in Rey fan theories. First one was Palpatine. So yeah, it works.
Yeah. Is there more predictions? Because I really want to get into that.
Yeah. Rose Tico, coma or incapacitated, coming back to save them.
Maybe we were all wrong.
We were. Knights of Ren.
She got friend-zoned into oblivion.
He's creating them. And Death Weapon, yes. So
kind of, yeah.
There were death weapons.
Because that entire fleet of Palpatine's new Star Destroyers are all outfitted with Death Star tech.
Do we know what happened with the Knights of Ren? Was Kylo creating them?
I don't know what happened. I grabbed a comment off YouTube where someone says, I like how the Knights of Ren spent most of the movie doing nothing but posing like the Backstreet Boys. They're just up on this plateau, like, Backstreet's back, all right, just staring at them. And I think Kylo just kills them all in a quick scene. So the most relevant characters.
What's
going on?
So Luke was right. Luke put Knights of Ren dead drunk driving. They may as well have been.
Basically,
so yes, I'm gonna give
Kylo killed them all in a car crash while they were getting smoothies.
Yeah, they would. That actually, I would see them all dying in a car wreck after getting smoothies. Something stupid.
So I haven't done cons in a while, or pros.
Yeah.
So cons. The Knights of Ren are the most irrelevant group of potential bad guys in franchise history.
They might have have never existed.
No, that's the thing. They could have been really cool. Like these villains you gotta fight, some cool like sub-bosses.
It's like an anime, you get all the lieutenants and you gotta defeat me if you want to get the Palpatine.
It's almost like it would have been way more interesting if Kylo Ren, with our story, kind of smaller scale, if Kylo Ren, who could have still been related to Han Solo, was just the bad guy. Mm-hmm. And he was really competent and powerful.
Yeah, if he didn't lose in every movie.
And his only flaw was that, he just had a ton of rage, and so that was used against him.
Yeah.
Like any other good story would do.
Yeah.
That he, should have been more powerful than Rey, because he's a bad guy.
At first, maybe not completely disarm any tension by having him lose handily in the first one.
All three movies.
All three after that.
He has the threat level of a Saturday morning cartoon boy, which is what I'd say, because that's what he is.
But was that all the predictions?
Kylo brings the Knights of Ren with him to the desert planet.
I don't know what happens.
They just kind of appear out of nowhere,
and
basically.
Then he kills them all because he decided to be good.
So I might just give you one because he basically just created them then, or something. I don't know.
Don't give me points.
Or
it's too.
The Jedi tomes, did they come up at all?
I don't know. That's another thing.
I remember now. I think the reason why Rose Tico gets such little screen time is because she's not JJ's kid.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, JJ got Rose in the divorce.
He didn't want her.
He didn't want her. So he gave her a little busy work to do. It's like, look, you're only here because your dad,
Billy got a total of 4 points for Palpatine, Skywalker's everyone, and the Death Weapon. Luke says that Palpatine was fifth. Holocron is wrong. Jedi Tomes I don't know anything about yet. I doubt they're in the movie.
They're not.
Okay. Rey is no one. Junk traders, which honestly I would have accepted more at this point. Luke is a Jedi holocron.
Parents sold it for drinking money.
They're filthy junk traders. We sold you off for drinking money.
I went holocron route because I
Skywalker
like that aspect.
Yeah, like they never bring that up
because you picked the logical one. That's why I won. I picked the stupidest thing.
That was 2 years ago when I had a visage of tiny glinter of hope. It was like, maybe they won't go
a glinter
full idiot, but they did.
So Dead Drunk Driving, I gave you that one, and Death Weapon. So you got 3 points.
But to be fair, I don't know if I'm completely right about Skywalker is now a title. I don't know if it's just because she takes the name, or if it's now anyone can have it. I think it's just like, well, I don't want to be a Palpatine, so I'm going to pick a... But it doesn't matter. You can give it to me.
I think
because potentially at that point, anyone could take it if they wanted to.
I went the logical route that Palpatine would be a Force ghost. That was incorrect. I said no on the Jedi tones because I didn't think they'd ever come back. Yeah. I think I'm right on that one.
No, I don't think they...
Luke is a Force goat. I got the Force goat. That's what I want. He's a Force goat. He's
well, that's a... Well, they treated him like a...
Force goat.
Like
they butchered him.
So,
Rey is a Skywalker, which I got incorrect. Skywalker, title is everyone.
But you were kind of right. Because she adopts their name, so she kind of becomes one. But
we're talking about biological. Yeah. You all had it too, except for Luke. Rose Tico is dead. She may as well be, but I won't give myself a point for that one. I said Knights of Ren.
It would have been more dignified.
I said Knights of Ren for yes. He is creating them. I don't think I really deserve anything for that one.
Well, he did, but then he killed them.
Yeah.
But like they were in comics.
Dude, we were buds in college, and you betray us like this.
So I got 4 points as well. So me and Billy tied. Luke's our loser for this one. I didn't really think about doing points until this moment, but that's how the.
I wasn't informed of this.
No, nobody was. Not even me.
Going back to there's so many things I want to get into, but going back to the scrolls first.
The dead Jedi scrolls.
A lot of times when detractors of this new trilogy are making fun of it, they'll say like, let the past die, kill it if you have to, as a slam against how they immediately brought the past back. And people will say, well, no, that was what the villain said. You aren't supposed to take that seriously. But then I'm like...
Except they used it the entire time.
Yeah, but that was like Yoda's point to Luke.
Yeah, Yoda said it too.
Yeah, he was like, the tomes don't matter.
What, so is Yoda evil now?
Even in the same movie, he said the tomes don't matter, but Rey
But then she took... That's what I can't figure out, is like, it just... Every aspect of that movie contradicts itself.
Yes.
As we've gone over, I won't do it again, but
it's a logical black hole.
That's why people use that line, is because it is kind of the thesis of the movie, even if the villain's saying it.
It's effect without cause.
And I would like to bring up that on Twitter, it was trending for a brief amount of time by people saying how much they related to Kylo's line.
Yes.
So that you can't just tell me it was the villain line now all of a sudden. Because like the Joker is insane, but in The Dark Knight, he says a lot of stuff that makes sense, kind of, society, these people. Yeah.
Kylo Ren was the highlight of this, basically.
Yeah.
He was the only interesting character.
I thought that
even if he didn't really even if he had bad writers behind him, he was still the most interesting character.
Because he had he was dynamic, because it was like he actually has a plot thread you can follow. It's like a guy who went bad now becomes good.
He's just a schizophrenic basically the entire time. He's just a man off his meds.
Yeah.
He's like, and he wants that Rey, saying he wants a girlfriend.
Yeah. I can't.
He's a man off his med who wants a girlfriend, alright? And he sees a lot in Rey.
There's no passion.
The Reylo thing, it blows my mind how this...
They don't even go through all the way, though.
No. And they would have been more attractive.
They kiss. That's it. That's the extent. They have a smooch at the end. I don't know where to begin with it, because, I
don't think we should touch it.
No, we're going to touch it. We're going to touch all over it.
Oh, my God.
They're going to throw us to jail for how much touching we're doing on this.
Oh.
If you... Again, and along... they are failing me. In the huge list of things that were not planned out, these people were mortal enemies. He murders his own father and her new mentor, her new father figure, in front of her. Then she beats him in a sword fight. Completely emasculates him.
Maybe he's an Amazon chaser.
Maybe he's into that. He gets berated for his boss because of that. Then in the second one, there's all of a sudden, we're just going to talk, and then...
Getting wishy-washy. He almost kills Leia, but someone else shoots the rockets, right? I can't remember.
Yeah,
someone else
he shows
the
a glimpse of good. Then... After it falls apart with Rey, he spends the rest of that movie trying to murder her and her friends.
Yeah. Like I said, he's just a guy off his meds, basically.
Yeah, he's completely erratic. But what part of him is Rey attracted to?
And then this one, he's just kind of around. He fights Rey. Yeah. He wants Rey. And then he goes good, and then he dies. Twice?
Because I could see maybe Kylo being... I can't see any of it working, honestly. But... God, my brain is just
Jar Jar
short-circuiting.
was like, I have nothing. This is probably the most interesting thing I can do.
It was
with
admittedly
these
the only
characters.
thing that worked about The Last Jedi was potentially, but even that doesn't make any sense why they would have anything to do with each other.
No.
Why she doesn't, like, hate him emphatically. I mean, you could argue, like, well, why does Luke care so much about Darth Vader?
'Cause it's
his
father.
dad. You could at least say that. And Darth Vader, I mean, he did kill Obi-Wan, so you could... But still, there's that family link. It's a different context, I feel. This is just like... This crazy man is trying to kill me constantly. He murdered my mentor. You know, he's a creep. He Skypes me while he's shirtless. You know, by accident.
Yeah. He's a classic internet creep.
Yeah,
he's
it's just
like,
like-
hey, you know, he's sending pictures on Tinder. Hey, you
Yeah.
want to get with me?
You know, they're tipping his fedora.
Yeah.
I stalked you to your house and then I killed your boss.
Yeah, I know. This incel is trying to get with me through the Force, and they're like, well, apparently I'm into this for no reason. I mean, admittedly, he's one of the few men I've ever seen in my life
Takes all kinds of make the
that
world.
wasn't an obese alien trying to sell a robot to me or
He's
something.
willing for anything.
Yeah. But that's another thing, is that is kind of an interesting plot line. Enemies to lovers is always kind of interesting.
Yeah, you could have done that.
Yeah.
There could have been some tension.
Mm-hmm.
I think in our version, you know, which is what I've been saying, that you could have
Yeah.
wrote that in explicitly
Yeah, because then it would
from
be
day
like,
one.
yeah, it would have been like I'm gonna kill his dogs. It could have been she's tempted to the dark side. He's in the dark side. There's already that kind of like we're both kind of broken people.
Yeah.
That kind of, you know, fill
Maybe-
each other's pieces in.
Maybe she does follow the dark side, though. Like, fully, at a time. Like, they're both in the dark side.
Yeah.
And it's a whole thing to, like, get them back or something. You could do something interesting there. Or maybe she just follows the dark side and we follow the dark side a little bit. Why
Well,
not some of that?
Something new and interesting?
Yeah,
well,
explore the dark side a little bit. Maybe it's not so evil as, you know, one would think. And then you
or
can
it
go
just
with
depends on, like,
your
you know,
point of view. You know, from
or how
my point of view,
how you use it. Yeah.
the Jedi are evil and stuff
Yeah.
like that. So, you know.
Yeah. And moving on to her, you know, finally we found out who Rey's parents were.
La di freaking da.
But there was something about this that nobody really considered, and it's the fact that Palpatine wins because his bloodline is still alive. He eradicated the Skywalker bloodline, so Palpatine wins.
Palpatine wins.
Palpatine wins.
We're part of
wins.
the dark
Yeah.
side at
Yeah.
this point,
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
Palpatine came through in the end.
All the sacrifices, Anakin's role,
Yes.
didn't matter because
didn't
Rey
matter.
usurped it. She's his granddaughter, so now there'll be more Palpatines down the line, assuming she ever gets married or whatever. And some of them, may, you know, we're just back to square one.
Yeah.
There's going to be more Palpatines in the world.
It's just a constant cycle.
The original trilogy, it was all leading up to Palpatine's bloodline just continuing.
Yes.
It was all completely pointless. Worse than pointless.
Good.
This has all been, you know, the prequels were the story about Palpatine is the main character of the Star Wars universe.
He is.
Yeah, he is.
He's our hero.
He's our protagonist.
Yeah.
Not necessarily our hero, but our protagonist.
Yeah.
There's a difference.
Because the prequels are about him
Rising the
power. The midquels, you know, the
It's his
originals,
low point.
Yeah.
You know, he gets killed in the end.
rise and fall, rags
Rise
to
and
riches,
fall, yeah.
or riches to rags, and then this is just how he ultimately succeeds and spreads his bloodline.
Yeah, and kills off his enemy bloodline.
Yes.
The Star Wars universe has never been
No.
better.
Yeah.
It's so good
Evil,
now.
evil wins.
We entered,
wins.
we entered a wonderful dark timeline that I'm happy.
Yeah.
They say evil prevails when good men fail to act. What they ought to say is, evil prevails.
That realization has
And now,
just...
Rey needs to be the Empress.
Yeah.
Do it.
She
please.
could be. She's already.
Do it.
She's already.
She's a Disney princess.
Yeah. She is.
She is.
And she's potentially evil.
The granddaughter of the Emperor. She's a Disney princess.
Because she's still really young. She's shown proclivities towards like
Violence.
ignoring violence and ignoring.
She's a great
you
Jedi
know,
at best.
Yeah.
Who's going to follow the dark side. Watch as the next one that will have some new heroes, and who's going to be walking around in a gray cloak and all gray and shriveled. It's going to be Rey. It'll be Daisy Ridley. Because she'll let that happen.
Darth Rasu. So pros. We also get Darth Risu.
Yeah. Oh, that's the greatest real. Who came up with that?
I can't take credit.
Okay.
I read it in a YouTube comment, and I think that also the Red Letter Media guys.
I think they need to go in the VIP.
Yeah,
That is the single greatest.
Their name is Glenn B. It says Palpatine legacy lives on, Skywalker bloodline ends. Yeah.
But who came up with like the movie thing? Like the movie is just the Rise and Fall. Was that you?
I thought of that.
Yeah, I mean you should go in there too.
Okay.
That is genius.
Yeah, it's all been about Palpatine. Like the Destiny tale of like Anakin and Luke. Did kind of for nothing.
Palpatine was the chosen one who would ultimately bring balance to the Force.
He did, yeah.
Because he killed all the Jedi.
Yeah.
And then there was only 2 Sith, and then they both died. Well, one of them died. He's still alive, and then he brings little baby Palpatine into the world, who balances the Force. I guess.
Yeah. No matter how you look at it,
It goes back
he
to
wins.
Palpatine wins.
He wins.
And it's a good thing because I really like Palpatine. He's the only bright spot in this horrible saga.
That is true.
Because I really like Palpatine.
He's good no matter where he is.
He is a treat to watch. I never get tired. I watch Episode 3 only for Palpatine.
Yeah. Oh my goodness.
Wow.
I'm laughing like
Another
a
happy
joke
landing.
Yeah.
I used to think the Star Wars, the 3D Star Wars movies were a tragedy. It turns out they were a comedy.
The entire time, yeah.
You don't really see evil winning in the end.
No, it's kind of interesting.
Well, that's why Infinity Wars was so good, because then Thanos won.
Yeah.
Honestly, I would say just disregard Endgame and just stick with it. Because Endgame's a disappointment after you watch it a couple of times.
Yeah, it's satisfying on that initial view. I feel like there's some like little issues that, but it's not like,
no, it's not.
If we're gonna compare it to Star Wars, it's like head and shoulders.
Yeah, I mean, it was it was a conclusion. It was a actual conclusion.
Yeah, it wasn't like
so
completely.
At least it was that.
We didn't have Tony Stark die and then Thanos come back at the
Yeah.
end. on another planet in a life support chair with burnt fingers, going, "Yes, I'm actually alive still."
How did he burn his fingers?
He was probably making the hot pocket.
Well, as he was falling, he was grabbing onto the sides.
Okay.
It scraped his fingers off.
I thought he was like making a hot pocket, You gotta like, ooh, ow.
Yeah, he's spent like 30-something years alone on that planet. He's just.
Well, not alone, because he had his whole crew there.
Well, that's true.
He had his Snoke clones.
Snoke clones, but he had people living on the planet who were building all the super ships.
But in the Red Letter Media review, they said he was like conjuring Star Destroyers.
Was he?
They couldn't figure out what he was. They couldn't figure out if he was just literally building Star Destroyers with his mind, or if he literally had like an entire like staff down there working for years. It's like, my life is taking a strange turn. I'm underground on this bizarre dark planet.
It would make more sense if he had like taken the ships and hid them and had the crew frozen in carbonite.
Yeah.
That would have made sense.
I've spent the entirety of my life building Star Destroyers in the dark underground while this old man sits on the throne up there making Hot Pockets. My life took a bad turn.
My fingers again. Come wipe them.
He just repeatedly burns his fingers. Like that.
He's old. He's not, he doesn't have.
It keeps them all
he's not
underground.
dexterous.
I went to
do we want
my old people, Ray.
I know we were going to talk about like the plot points. I think we already kind of went through.
Well, I mean, that's kind of talk about what the movie entails. It's basically a giant video game fetch quest where they got to find this dagger and they got to find this beacon. They got to find this thing to find this thing. It's literally a fetch quest that's extended over the course of the movie. I don't know any of the particulars really, but.
I wanted to get into this. I thought this was an interesting aspect that we once talked about. That, like, didn't they film a ton of different endings for this?
That's the thing. I don't know how true that was.
Oh, it may have been false?
I don't know. It was never verified.
Okay.
It may have been true. It would explain a lot.
How many viewings did they have? Didn't they have a couple of viewings?
I don't know. See, that's why they can never get the story straight because, like, the people on YouTube, they were like, my sources say they've had, like, 6. And then JJ's like, no, we didn't really have any. We had like a showing for family and friends, which I felt like was just a roundabout way of saying, well, we had like one minor showing or something like that.
Right.
So who knows? I would not be surprised if this was like a movie by committee because it explains a lot.
Because we had this idea that basically it turns movies into make your own adventure games.
Yeah.
Yeah, where you vote as a group inside the theater.
Yeah.
Like, does your character go over swim the body of water, look into the body of water, take a drink, and the whole theater votes, and then only one of those will lead you to alive, and then the other two will kill you, and then you have to rebuy a ticket to come back in.
So it's our brilliant way of reviving the kind of waning theater industry. Yeah. Because in theory, you could end up watching a movie dozens of times just trying to get to the ending, and the hilarious part is thinking of like you've done it enough, a few choices that kill you, and then you're powerless to stop it.
You're screaming at other people in the theater, not because they're loud, but because they're not doing it right.
Yeah. No, do not jump in that hole, you just die.
And then what you would have is you'd have whole groups of people, like hundreds of people, who'd buy tickets, and they'd go through and they'd work as a cohesive unit.
Yeah, you would have to get coordinated, and it would force you to like come in big groups. There's no downside.
No, I think theaters
absolutely no downside.
Yes, absolutely not. We think it's a great idea, and we are willing to sell it to you for a tiny sum.
I don't understand why people are so upset with the Rise of Skywalker. They just released a day one patch for it.
Yeah,
that's the future of movies, people.
Yeah, day one patches.
DRM.
You'll go to the theater, and then you'll start watching it, and then say, "Oh, there's an update," and there'll be a loading bar.
Yeah,
you'll
be in the middle of watching it.
Yeah,
and then you're sitting there, and when you buy your concessions and stuff, you don't know what you're buying. It's in a box.
Yeah.
So they'll open it up, and you might get awesome things like hot dogs and candy, but sometimes you'll just get a popcorn. It's like generic, and like, oh well, here you go.
But so you have to buy a key to open the box you bought.
You buy the box, and it's like, no, you can like spend your fantasy like tons of your movie points or watching a movie, or right now you can spend $2 and get the key.
Yeah. Well, I'm thinking like a patch, like say this movie has like people are angry at it because it's not diverse enough.
Yeah.
You're in the movie, you're watching it, loading bar comes up, all these white people are suddenly black people. It's a perfect system. Just patch out things you don't like.
Well, the other thing that would probably be introduced is DRM. So you got to make sure that it's always online, or else it won't work. So if your theater loses connection, it'll kick you out.
Yeah. Oh boy. It's a brave new world we're heading towards, folks.
And then wonderful.
The other point is the fact that like Leia is still in the movie. She's dead.
Oh, I wanted to talk about that. There's still a lot I want to go over. We've already cracked an hour, but I've still got a ton of stuff I want to do.
Edit most of this.
Well, let's go to the Leia thing. There's so much I want to talk about.
Yeah. So
I need confirmation. Mm-hmm. Did they hire another actor to wear a suit and cover her face and pretend?
No. Okay. They Kung Pao enter the fisted her. Which, now that I've said it, is an unfortunate turn of phrase.
It is.
But it's true. They took unused footage from The Force Awakens and spliced her in and like tried to like finagle it where she's answering. And that's why it never seems like she's totally there or like totally responding correctly.
Or, Princess Leia, she's a little bit senile at this point, unfortunately. Yeah. So it makes sense for her character.
She's endured a lot. Her husband died, her son's gone evil.
Why couldn't you just have her die off screen? I mean, maybe it's in poor taste, but this is worse.
Well, it's not any better than what actually happens, because not only do they YouTube poop her into the movie...
They did. It's a YouTube.
But
it is.
I am proud of you.
Yeah. The words are all garbled.
Yeah.
The sentence mixing.
But she dies like her brother. She gives up her life force to distract Kylo at some point, and then dies. I know she like pulls a Luke and just.
Hey, your mom died.
Is that how Jedi suicide now? They just force project?
Well, that's the thing. Like, the Force is so insane now that you do the wrong spell and you're dead. Because Kylo, the same thing happens to him.
Why?
Well, he gives up his life force to save Rey after she's been killed or whatever by Palpatine, and then he dies. Even though, like, Rey has been healing people previously to establish that now Force healing is a major element.
Well, it wasn't a melody in that one GameCube game where you're Kylo Katarn.
Kyle Katarn, Shadow of the...
yeah, that's
Jedi Knight Outcast.
Jedi Knight Outcast, yeah, that's a force power. I mean, force powers makes sense when it's an RPG or a video game. In the movie, you need to tone it back a little.
Yeah, I mean, it's a whole new can of worms, kind of like the Lightspeed crash or whatever.
But that was a 1 in a million shot, or something.
Well, I'm kind of saving. We're gonna have a little retcon corner here in a second.
Okay, great. But my thing was, if they were gonna take Princess Leia and video game Iser over somebody, basically.
Well, no, they thought that would be disrespectful.
Okay, but they did with Tarkin. So they
don't care about Peter Cushing apparently. Yeah, like
poor Peter Cushing.
His family didn't have good enough lawyers, evidently, or they didn't care.
My point was that eventually we're not going to have any new actors. We're just going to have character actors who play other characters who are then worked on. And then what we talked about in the Will Smith one, they're going to increase the frame rates to large amounts so that way it looks better. Yeah. And eventually, we're just going to have no real life actors, just other actors who aren't actually there, just video game into it or green screened onto it.
Well, I know I bring them up a lot, but they're kind of our inspiration. But the Red Letter Media guys, they were on Macaulay Culkin's podcast, and they pitched their movie called The Uncanny Valley, where it's basically like this amusement park that brings back dead celebrities through CGI, and they go wrong and they try to kill you. So I feel like we'll see movies starring like long dead. Only a cast of like long dead actors.
Yeah, we're already seeing movies with long dead actors. But let's go into. You want to go into Retcon Corner? Or do you want to go into take a little break from our ranting and go on to some reviews?
Well, I want to take a break because I feel like I'm losing my voice.
Okay.
Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby to get ourselves a treat.
But I guess we'll go on to, I guess I'm tentatively for this one episode calling Retcon Corner.
Well, if it was an actual thing,
I wish there was alliteration. Yeah, the Retcon. I wouldn't
revival.
Say I would say Retcon Review, but that's basically what we do in general.
So what's all been retcon?
Let's just get into it.
Yeah, quit trying to come up with a stupid name for it. Okay, so we kind of mentioned it earlier, but lightspeed ramming has been totally just like dismissed.
It's almost like it really defeats a lot of plot points.
Yeah, it's almost like it was a horrible decision, a very pretty bad decision, because I forget someone like mentions it, and then Finn or Poe is like, it was a one in a million shot. There's no way you could recreate it. And yet, if you'll take a stroll with me down memory lane, back to The Last Jedi, the Order was freaking out when she did it. Because they knew, they saw what she was going to do. If it was a 1 in a million shot, they would have...
It's not like it took her really much effort. She just pointed the ship, went the light speed. That was it.
And the First Order was like, oh no, I know what she's doing. She's doing this very devastating, effective thing that has completely destroyed space battles in Star Wars.
Yeah.
And sure enough, JJ's like, nope.
At that point, why even build a Death Star when you can just have ships running to planets at light speed?
I know.
No, Luke. Why even build a Death Star when you could just have, big ships that could destroy a planet? Even
though it's kind of been established for planet-destroying capabilities, you need a massive planet-sized weapon.
It's like... Jar Jar's like, oh no, this breaks everything. We can't have this. Oh, but we can have this. This doesn't break everything. No.
It's just circles with these lunatics.
And in his defense, Rian Johnson was like, let's do a land version of it that, can blow up doors.
Yeah.
It's like the Death Star, you can't get away from it. It just keeps mutating.
Over-glorified battering ram.
They'll be like, in the next one, they'll be like Death Star drones chasing our heroes.
They can blow up planets.
There'll be a Death Star mech. There'll be a man who's like, I am the embodiment of a Death Star.
Yeah.
It's like a mecha Sith with a
laser out.
Yeah, he's got it in his chest. Yeah.
Oh my goodness!
It's like Frankie for One Piece.
Like that, the Transformers thing is the Death Star that turns into Darth Vader.
Oh yeah, exactly like those Transformers Star Wars.
We had Han and Chewie.
Yeah.
We did.
We did.
I totally forgot about that.
Yeah, Grandma had it.
Oh okay. Yeah.
figure out how to give.
I did it. I finally did it.
Yeah, that was the thing with those toys. When you're a kid, those things are like non-Euclidean geometry. You're just.
I think the same when you're an adult.
Well, that's true. Some of them are just super confusing.
Anyways, back to the retcons. So.
Yeah, so Lightspeed ramming, which I kind of felt they would have to hang a lantern on that, which is a trope speak, explaining something that seems to be a contradiction, but you kind of wave it away with a bit of dialogue.
Imagine that. We went into what is the game terminology? Dominant strategy.
Yeah, that's the thing. It became the dominant strategy thanks to Rian Johnson, because he does not, he's kind of he's a carpe diem kind of guy. He lives for the moment. Yeah, he's like, this looks cool now, but let's not think about the legacy, because I'm not really a Star Wars fan. I'm just here to have a good time. And I brought my my daughter Rose with me. She's going to fit in great with the kids. Speaking of which,
yes,
Miss Rose has been unfortunately, or not so unfortunately, sidelined. She's kind of just become like rebel personnel, and she tries to join the adventure, and Finn's like, no, you need to stay. The rebellion needs you.
Okay, I wonder. No, I gotta say this. I wonder if that was ad-libbed and she was just trying to bend the movie to please let me be in Star Wars, and then Jar Jar looked over at Finn. Finn kind of went like, yes. So he ad-libbed. No.
Do you guys know how long she was in the movie for? Do you guys know? Okay, guess.
76 seconds.
I'm gonna guess a full minute.
Okay.
Tops. That's a minute and 16 seconds.
Luke got it exactly.
Really? 76? Did you know?
I did know.
Oh,
okay.
Well, that's what I said. I was only going to play this game if you guys didn't know.
The thing is, I couldn't remember if I saw that somewhere. I was like,
all right, someone did it. They timed it. The Rise of Skywalker's runtime of 2 hours and 22 minutes. She appears for just 1 minute and 16 seconds, give or take a few seconds.
Oh, man.
And that's a pretty liberal appraisal, because it's just, like, there's some scenes where she, like, hugs Chewbacca, and then, like, she's in the background.
Oh, man.
In The Last Jedi, she was on screen for 10 minutes and 53 seconds of the 2 hour and 32 minute runtime, which she's not there a lot.
No, surprisingly, but if you break it down, a lot of like famous roles like Hannibal Lecter in Silence of the Lambs, he's only in it for a few minutes. If you like think about his scenes in isolation, it's weird how that works.
Yeah, it is. But I love that 1 minute.
It kills me how someone showed this online. Every movie, they try to pair Finn off with someone new.
Yeah.
Rey, Rose, possibly Poe, but that never happened, which they should have done.
It's like the Chinese would not have allowed it.
Yeah. And then this new black character, the lady with the fro.
Oh, yeah.
And she just has the same backstory as him.
Oh, really?
Yeah, how did this... And someone else said this, I know we're just cribbing a lot, but hey, that's what we do. We take from the internet and package it for you.
Yeah, that's the point.
They said that... How did his plotline not end with him leading a battalion of freed stormtroopers against their former masters? The most logical end to his plot, which they've ignored because he's Space Janitor Extreme.
Yeah, did he get to be a Space Janitor again in this one?
I don't know.
He was like, oh yeah, I remember this plan. I cleaned up the throne room for Palpatine.
Yeah, whenever Palpatine had a mess,
yeah.
he cleaned up
I cleaned up. I never mentioned that I worked for Palpatine or they was alive, but
They had him cleaning the ships that were buried underground.
Yeah, that too. He knew all about it.
Oh my goodness.
He single-handedly cleaned the entire planet.
Yeah. Well, I would imagine it's in the film, so I proposed a pro where Finn has reached, like, ultimate level janitor.
Yeah, he's maxed out that career.
Well, I think that's how the movie ends, where they make him the honorary super janitor of the rebellion. So
yeah, they give him a little gold medal. It's got a mop on it.
Yeah.
At the very end.
It's a great payoff for his character.
Yeah. Are we going to get into the characters eventually?
Yeah, I figure let's save that for last.
Okay.
Because I've got a lot to say about that.
Let's go back to retcons.
Retcons. Yeah, I also included that, like, destroy the past. We kind of went over that.
Kill it if you have to.
Yeah, but then this just immediately... Well, it bears repeating again because we already established how the concept of destroy the past, kill it if you have to, is already like weird and contradictory in the movie it comes from. But this movie is also a big slap in the face to that thesis because they brought Palpatine back. It's like the ultimate
They brought back everyone.
And it also spawned the no one's ever really gone.
Yeah.
So to me, Rian Johnson, I mean, there's a part of me that's like, I get Rian Johnson maybe in his own twisted little way was trying to inject some new concepts into Star Wars, a more subversive take, but he didn't. He fumbled it.
Well, it's because he didn't do a deconstruction. He just did a destruction.
Yeah.
It doesn't work that way. Kreia from the old games is an actual KOTOR is an actual deconstruction of the Star Wars universe, which is what I was talking about before with the Force and the cyclical nature. Yeah, it's an actual deconstruction of its logical endpoints. Yeah, basically.
Well, it's not really the fault of the universe. It's just the fault of bankrupt writers. We think of anything else.
We covered this, but
I don't know where I was going with that point. I mean, I wasn't inherently against trying new things. I don't want people to think I just hate it because it was trying to be different. No, I was fine with different, but not, like you said, not destruction of what I love.
Try though. It was just a rehash of.
It just ultimately goes back on what it was trying to say. But enough of that. But I gotta say, I kind of want to give this movie a pro just for being a massive Death Star middle finger to Rian Johnson because
I can agree with that.
I can too.
Because The Last Jedi gave this a con, so we can say this one gave. We can give it a pro for what it did to The Last Jedi.
It retcons The Last Jedi,
which is what we predicted ultimately.
Because there's no other way around it. It ruins so much.
I mean, I guess they could have just opened the theater and said Star Wars is dead, and then closed it down.
Let's go home, folks. Pack it up. We had a good run.
See you again next week.
But those were the major things. And I mean, I feel bad for, is it Kelly Marie Tran who plays Rose?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, it's not the fault of the actors that they're given these characters, and they have to, nobody wants to, I mean, I guess it's happened a couple of times, but, when you're in interviews and stuff like that, and they ask you about your character, you can't just say, "Oh, I hate my character. She sucks."
No, you gotta
she's got nothing. It's like with Captain Phasma or whatever. Yeah. The actor does that. You feel bad for her because they made a nothing character. Now
and she's got to sell it.
Yeah, she's got to sell herself.
Yeah. And it's like a job interview.
Yeah, it is.
You're not going to say, "I have no experience." You're going to twist the experience you do have in other things to fit this job.
Yeah, you're
trying
to
twist
get new roles and stuff like that. So
Phasma, the mascot of Missed Opportunity.
I know, because she's such a cool design. The whole female villain, even though we've had him before, in a major trilogy was a good angle for, publicity's sake. Yeah. But they just...
She didn't do anything.
Just fumbled it completely. And she was kind of a pathetic character.
Is she even in this one?
I don't think so.
Good question, but I don't think she is. I think she's dead. Yeah. They killed her.
Finally put her out of her misery.
At least they finally made a decision that made sense.
Yeah.
Now, we could be wrong. She may be, just there.
Yeah, she could be. Yeah. But I'm just saying that these people, even with Ridley... I forgot her name.
Daisy Ridley?
Daisy Ridley.
Yeah.
She's not going to say, "Oh, yeah, my character's Mary Sue," or whatever. She's going to defend her character, because that's who she was given, and that's who she's playing, and stuff like that.
I mean, I don't like her saying that Mary Sue is inherently sexist, because for one, it's general neutral. There can be Gary Stews.
Yeah. You can even call a male character Mary Sue, and that's fine. I don't care.
It's just a trope. It's not like it's only female characters that ever get this label,
But yeah, I mean,
I think she's dead. I think Captain Phasma's dead.
Okay. That's,
she's gone.
R.I.P. Captain Phasma.
She came in. I didn't even know her name for a long time.
Well, she had the illustrious arc where she sells out her entire, group just because she's afraid of being shot, even though she's wearing armor to deflect blaster bolts.
Goes into a trash compactor,
comes back, and then is beaten in a duel by Finn.
Yes. Which it didn't really even do anything for Finn's arc.
No.
So
this is
which it could have if he had been still a soldier and not a janitor.
This new trilogy had awful villains.
Yes, that's why they brought Palpatine. Yeah. Think about it.
These are all crap. We need the old guy in here.
You guys want to get on to reviews?
Yeah, I think so. Let me
See what else
you got. Let me.
Did this thing happen to Hux?
Yeah, we'll go over him. When
we're
go
gonna get
our...
into characters. We should really save a lot of this for characters.
But
okay.
I just quickly want to say, John Boyega, tread carefully, my friend. I like you. I think you're a good actor. You have good energy. I want to see you in more stuff. But do not piss off Disney, okay? No. You want that money. You do not want to get blacklisted in the industry.
You will never work again if you make Disney mad.
No, I know. Just like we know how you feel.
Yeah.
We know you're a part of the fandom menace. Maybe not even like not consciously. We know. We know. We got you. But just lay low. Do your part.
Hey, Layla, that sounds like a Star Wars character.
Once you're completely successful, write a book or go on a bunch of interviews.
Yeah, write a Star Wars book from the perspective of John Boyega.
Yeah.
Hopefully, if he's like tearing into the fact that he ended up being a glorified space janitor.
Yeah.
That'd be amazing. Okay, we've given you your plan here. Just listen to us. Yeah. You're never gonna even know who we are, but still.
John Boyega.
Yeah, we should. That'd be a good idea. Make a note. He'll ignore us completely.
Oh yeah, but this looks good.
Yeah. Okay,
I just feel sorry for
Kelly Marie Tran.
Yeah, Kelly Marie.
Yeah.
She seems like she wanted to be a part of Star Wars.
Yeah, everyone did.
And she gets the dumpy potato sack character. It's just like
she's a very attractive woman when she's not done up how they did her.
But most of the people just who wanted to be in Star Wars and they wanted a cool adventure, they just get shafted.
I know.
Even the people who wanted to relive it, Mark Hamill, they just get shafted.
Just shafted. I don't hate any of the actors. They're just as much as they're victims like we are.
Yeah.
They may say stupid things, but that doesn't mean I hate them. It's like
they're just as they're victims just like us.
Yeah, I was thinking about maybe reading.
And the sad thing is now no one wants to be a part of Star Wars, and that's just it.
Yeah, you get to you're part of the main characters, but you're just a mechanic over there now, or you're just you're the gardener,
Yeah, just get this weird menial task, but
well, no, it's like you audition for the role you want in the children's play, and you get a tree, you get a rock, what's the point?
Everyone has to play a part.
Now, I never knew for certain. They go on and on about how she was harassed. I never saw any definitive proof or screenshots of that actually occurring.
Right.
If it's true, it's awful, and I don't condone it whatsoever. And if you do that kind of stuff, you're a bad person. Especially the way they went after Jake Lloyd and the guy that played Jar Jar.
Yeah,
that's reprehensible behavior. But there's no proof that I've seen. Maybe it's out on the internet. And if it is, then I'll retract this. But I haven't seen any proof of them. I think that was a narrative that was spun by the media to kind of get on her side. Which, I'm already on her side.
Yeah.
So
I'm on all the actors and actresses' sides. I feel sorry for them.
Yeah. I mean, at the end of the day...
Within reason.
At the end of the day...
They got money.
They're doing better than us.
Money.
I don't feel too bad, but I still...
They got money, we got spat on, that's the difference.
They got on their resume, they can go on to bigger or worse things.
In a more, artistic sense... what it does for their perception, I feel bad.
A lot of them were Star Wars fans. That's why I feel sorry.
Yeah, as a fellow Star Wars fan, I feel bad. I guess but I didn't know if we wanted to read some from this. There's a lot of articles about how people are really upset that Rose Tico, how she was treated by JJ.
Yeah, but she's a character who's not a Star Wars character.
Yeah, it's stated by her father, her creator.
I just love that line. I love Rian Johnson going, she's not a Star Wars character. That's your thing.
That's why I like her so much.
It's like, well, why are you working on Star Wars?
And that's when I thought it was weird that they should have just kind of doubled down and stuck with The Last Jedi. Because the only ones staying around with the franchise or still enthused were lovers of that movie.
Yeah.
So you may as well cater to them.
But they didn't.
Which was weird. I guess they wanted everyone, but you're not going to do that at this point.
That ship has sailed.
Although they're making a ton of money, so what do we know? It's all pointless.
It is.
The podcast is canceled.
But my thing was, if I had been in Jar Jar's position, you just go camp. you go as camp as you can, and then you just make excuses like, oh, I'm really, you throw some things in there that like gets your producers or your, the producers happy. Yeah. Then you just go full camp. That's my thing. Just go ridiculous. Well, Darth Jar Jar, Rose Tico. Yeah, at the end you have Rose Tico
versus Darth Jar Jar.
If that was the climax, oh my goodness.
Yeah, we haven't seen the movie though. Though you'd think we'd be hearing about that if it was, but
It could be.
It could
in my heart of hearts.
Yeah.
I want Rose Tico versus Darth Jar Jar.
Or maybe there's like an after credit scene that everyone was like, oh, well, Star Wars is over, and they walk out. But everyone missed the fact that after the credits run through, it's like, Misa has returned.
It's setting up episode 10.
And so have I. And then she comes out.
She comes riding out on one of the bunny rabbit dog horses.
Yeah. Is there going to be an episode 10?
Oh, yeah, eventually.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me? These things print money when they're terrible.
Yeah.
Disney can't lose at this point.
No.
We're the losers who are sitting here complaining about it for 2 hours even though we will accomplish nothing.
I'm enjoying it.
No, well, I mean, I get a weird kind of satisfaction.
Yeah, me too.
You have to vent or
we
you'll
get
just
content
explode.
for our viewers. Everyone wins.
That's true. We're all just leeches on the gigantic beast that is Disney at this point. So, hey, cheers, Disney.
Maybe we'll eventually drain it of all blood. But maybe someday.
But... like I said, there's a ton of articles about how people are upset about Rose is treated, and start off with I'm in the middle of it, but this is from Nerdist. It says, yet Rose does almost nothing in The Rise of Skywalker. She's barely more relevant than Dominic Monaghan's character, a random resistance fighter. I think that was Meriadoc, the actor who played Meriadoc in Lord of the Rings.
Isn't that the one who's like in the mask and stuff, and then Poe gives a... hey, I like you, and then that's it.
I don't know, maybe. Yeah.
I think I heard that.
He's never named on screen.
Oh, they will. There'll be a Wikipedia page.
Probably.
Have his name
or maybe it's someone else.
I'll start back over. She's barely more relevant than Dominic Monaghan's character, a random resistance fighter you could delete from the movie right now without impacting anything. Anyone else in the Resistance could speak Rose's lines, and even if you don't love Rose Tico, that's an insulting fate for both her character and Finn. Fair enough. It's like if Lando had nothing to do in Return of the Jedi, or if Dooku died off-screen in Revenge of the Sith. And Rose's lack of importance, of her contributing at all, is obviously majorly disappointing if you love her and were invested in her own arc. Cannot read. That's a weird sentence.
What was her arc? Getting over her dead sister?
Telling us that we shouldn't fight what we hate. We should say what we love, even though this whole movie is them fighting the...
All she did was just ruin Finn's glorious arc. He could have died a hero instead of becoming super ultimate dad.
I wonder what would have happened if we went through the sacrifice of Finn. Would JJ try and bring him back?
Yeah. He crawls out of the wreckage at the beginning of the Rise of Skywalker.
He looks like Palpatine. Burnt fingers.
So J.J. Abrams treated her with less respect than Jar Jar Binks received in Attack of the Clones. He got to be a senator. I mean, he kind of got a lot of respect. Despite the Gungan having had significantly fewer supporters after the Phantom Menace than Rose Tico will always have. Okay, whatever helps you sleep at night. Jar Jar's role was small in that film, but he was significant to the plot. He was manipulated into advocating that Palpatine receive the emergency powers that led him to becoming Emperor. A sad outcome for the kind-hearted Jar Jar.
Okay, I have to interject there. That was planned.
Yeah.
Jar Jar purposely did it. It's all part of his plan.
That's true, yeah. He is like we established, he is a Sith Lord.
Jar Jar?
He's an ancient Sith.
Yeah. But it made sense plot-wise since that trilogy was always going to end in tragedy. The sequel trilogy was always going to end with hope and love, the two traits that best define Rose Tico.
Oh, I'm sure.
Where, the way she lovingly tasered people that were fleeing for their lives from the ship.
From the resistance that you willingly joined or drafted.
So,
what are they, the Empire?
She's all about love, but she has this fascist mentality about staying connected. Don't get me started. Yeah, we're going to win this war not by fighting what we hate, but saving what we love, she said to Finn after saving him on Crate.
Oh, yeah,
saving almost murdering in a horrible accident.
He could have died.
That's exactly how Luke Skywalker saved the galaxy in Return of the Jedi.
Oh, yeah, I remember when he crashed his plane into another.
Well, saving what he loved. I mean, to be fair, he saved his dad.
It was much better written than
yeah, it was better.
To say the least.
They still had to kill Palpatine, though, at the end of the day. They didn't love him into submission.
No.
But we all did.
That's exactly how Luke Skywalker saved the galaxy in Return of the Jedi, and how Rey and Kylo Ren ultimately save it in the Rise of Skywalker.
Except Luke Skywalker never did, because Palpatine came back in the First Order, so Luke Skywalker didn't accomplish anything.
Yeah. But I think he just melts himself again with his own lightning because it gets reflected back on him.
Seriously?
He keeps that's the one trick he can't get over. It keeps like in the prequels. That's how he got mutated.
Yeah.
And then he just falls for it again and dies this time, I think. So, no, love did not kill him. Lightning did.
Well, when you live so long, you just become a little senile and a little,
Love triumphs over hate, hope over fear. That's the definitive message of Star Wars. True, but you're going to have to kill a few suckers along the way, unfortunately.
Well, except Palpatine won, so this is entirely disregarded.
That's right, he did.
But what did Rose do or say in The Rise of Skywalker when Finn attempted to sacrifice himself again? Oh, he does? Okay. Nothing. In fact, she ran the other way. This isn't retconning a plot point, it's retconning the character.
Yes!
Yep.
So they retconned that!
Yeah. It makes no sense in the context of the trilogy, for the character, for her and Finn's relationship, but for the overarching theme of the franchise. Forget bad storytelling. That's a betrayal. Yep, you've been betrayed by these horrible writers.
Your expectations have been subverted. It wasn't made for you.
Yeah.
Get over it.
Yeah, it wasn't made for you.
Oh, how...
And then she...
the worm turns?
Yeah. Then they kind of sign off by saying how, like, it was just like giving credence to the trolls that chased her off of Instagram, which still don't know if that actually happened. If it did, it was bad. But yeah, I feel like it's a good send-off for the most beloved character of the new trilogy. Go in peace, Rose.
Yes.
Namaste.
Go in peace.
Yeah.
Peace is a lie.
Yeah, peace is a lie. I think that's it for the retcons, at least all the major ones. You could argue that the entire film was... that's the funny thing about this trilogy, is that you could just skip from 1 to 3 and it wouldn't matter. I know we kind of talked about that.
I would say that you could just skip them.
Oh, entirely? Oh, yeah, it's the first trilogy you could just skip entirely. Yeah, that's a good point.
Well, in fact, I'd say you could skip the prequels, too. You could skip this one, and you can just watch the original thing and be happy.
Oh, that's a good point. Yeah. So it's, the pro. It's not required viewing.
All right. What everyone's been waiting for the last couple of hours. Rando Reviews.
Yes, although I really have to pee. So.
Me too, actually.
Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby to get ourselves a treat.
All right, you said you had a pro you want to put down?
Oh, yeah, I didn't. I was going to add in the after credit scene of Rose versus Darth Jar Jar.
And then, Rose Tico's trying to draw Jar Jar in from the dark side. Mm-hmm. Jar Jar's trying to tempt Rose Tico.
Yes.
Yeah. And eventually they end with a little kiss.
What do we call that ship of Jar Jar Binks and Rose Tico?
Jar Tico?
Like
Rose Jar? No.
Rose Jar.
Like insult to God?
No. All right, let's stop all the jokes.
Mm-hmm.
Let's get into Rando.
Let's get serious.
Yeah, he's serious.
Serious.
We're gonna start with Alan Chandrasarap. Sorry, let me start again. We're gonna go with Alan Chandrasaputra.
Is he a Star Wars character? I'm sorry.
I think so. He gave it. So Google reviews, which is what I use for a lot of my reviews, have changed from a upvote or a downvote to stars.
Oh, okay.
You don't really see that happen. You see stars going to up and downs. You don't see up and downs going.
It's interesting.
So he gave it 5 stars. He says, as a person who started following Star Wars in the last 12 to 15 years, I may say this movie is very, very, very pleasant for me. Why? Not the CGI, but the transition of the old generation to next generation. These last 3 movies have so many different from which director of GL. I don't know what that sentence means, but...
Good luck.
GL. George Lucas.
There we go.
We figured it out.
George Lucas.
George Lucas.
This last movie can make me feel that all the questions which come from many holes from previous are filled. Even though raise many new questions for me, too, but may have the answers already in the film. So I think he's part of the Yoda.
What would be immediate? Clearly, English is not his first language.
I just imagine a Gungan running this.
Okay, well, this is our culturally insensitive corner, apparently.
I'm sorry. He's on English. I can't.
Why doesn't he write on it his,
Well, they may not have it, to be fair. I don't know how it works.
It's kind of hard to follow.
It's comedy. All right, anyways. One example, Rain has shown a much power display in movies that I didn't see in previous Jedi. She's still in training, yet, spoiler alert, the way she sit meditating in the air and all the stones surrounding her floating like space orbit, she is strong with the Force. Anakin in training, not even display that. Not because of the CG that time, right?
What?
Smiley face. He's saying that she's really powerful, and Anakin didn't display that power, but maybe it's because of the technology.
It was the whole movie was CGI.
I don't know. I thought his point was, like, he could have displayed that. It wasn't a problem with the CGI. He just clearly wasn't as powerful.
Maybe, but I think he was just trying to rationalize it as well.
It all comes back to her floating rocks.
Yeah.
Why Emperor Palpatine, EP, can't detect her, that she was so easily catch up by Kylo Ren? Is it because Kylo is her special duo pair of Force? Or she is, as the movie says, the Force always be with you. Not may the Force be with you. Or the Force is strong with you. Which later all those words come to Rey. Well, Rey indeed has shown all. Kylo from light to dark because Luke was scared. Rey from dark, EP grandchild to Jedi apprentice to balance. Well, some part is really reminding me of Avatar, the element bender, not the blue one. Which explains some theories about the ability of dark plagiast, ability to infect others, lie plaque. Somehow explain how all Sith Lord train an apprentice to later kill him to manifest in the apprentice as the new avatar for the Sith. The so-called as the Sith Lord to complete the training is to receive the Sith Lord. Well, this explained when Anakin was crippled, EP turned to Luke, DV son, Darth Vader, to turn
like does his little
acronym
to turn him because next Sith Avatar. EP failed. The one killed him also died in action. Kamikaze.
He's being insensitive.
To save his son, which released him, DV, from Darkseid, and by that got his Force ghost as Anakin. In those, I heard this suppose about Anakin, the one started it all. But actually, all started from Palpatine, or Sith Lord himself, when making baby Anakin from the midichlorian Force.
That is a theory that Palpatine made
I
up.
thought that was disproven by Disney.
Yeah, we're not sure.
Skywalker, which started, maybe as, preparation to make a new avatar for EP, but the stronger the light, the greater the shadow become. Kingdom Hearts way.
Is that Kingdom Hearts way?
Yeah. May vice versa happen to Sith Lord. As long there are Sith, there will always be Jedi. Wherever Jedi exists, therefore Sith. Scenes that all Sith before me and all Jedi before me in the love-hate relationship. Well, and I may say this to all oldies. The thing about Anakin, the chosen one, that you all praised is not wrong. This is the legacy to their next generation. Kylo is Anakin's grandson. Follow the step of his grandfather, like to dark light. Like to dark delight. The scenes which Last Sith versus Last Jedi destroy each other. Ben Solo continues what his grandfather could not finish. Bring balance. Sound like Avatar again. And Kylo did. By showing the way to light. Manipulate life, but again, the part of redemption is just like Anakin. Anakin is not dead.
How long is this?
Really long. Anakin is not dead or thrown to trash.
Oh my goodness.
Why would you think about that? It's just Anakin legacy is passed to Ben. This is where all connected. Skywalker and the last burial lightsaber of two greatest daughter and son of the great warrior Anakin started. This sure a story that ends the saga. A story can be accepted for every generation. Not only for the oldies, safe for kids, in which there may be some kids here continued the legacy onwards.
Okay, well...
I'm losing my mind. What the...
Fair enough. He does bring up the point that Ben Kylo is, in a roundabout way, you know, he is Anakin's great-grandson.
Just overshadowed
or
by
grandson, rather.
Doesn't that mean that they're...
Yeah, so he just facilitates Palpatine's bloodline.
Wait, is Reylo incest then?
Not directly.
No,
it's like an adoption thing.
Yeah.
So it's not really there.
No.
I think what was interesting is that they've changed the lore that now Sith, they just train an apprentice so they can take over them.
Well, Is he referring to like there's only two, and then like one Siths are always like backstabbing each other? It's like
no, I mean, from what he understood from the movie, it's just how explain how all Sith Lord train their apprentice to later kill him.
Is he saying? Is that in the movie? They're just saying that Sith just train.
Yeah.
So they train their own replacement.
Yeah, and they just take over them with the Force or something.
Or is he saying like the trainer takes over the trainee? Is that the point? Or is he saying that like the trainer...
They train them to then kill them so that way they can take over their body.
This is a horrible decision.
No, it's really bad. It's really dumb. It's a con.
It's a con.
It's a con.
The Siths have a very
stupid way of doing it. Yeah. Also,
talking about the rule of two.
Also, that's... I don't know if you guys ever heard of like drunk history.
Yeah.
That to me was like drunk Star Wars history. Like he had a lot of info, and some of it was in the right place, but it's all garbled and like nonsensical. So he treated us to a quick episode of drunk Star Wars history.
Well, thank you. Thank you for that, sir.
So I didn't get really many from IMDb, but I thought this one was the most poignant. You know, like this one really spoke to me. JNL10 gave it a 2 out of 10, and its review is titled Trash. Utter trash, nothing else to say about it. I'd rather have someone step on my than watch this again.
Don't have to censor.
It's up to you. I could do it again with a kinder.
Doesn't matter.
So he felt really strong.
That's all I said is trash, and it feels like your genitals are being stepped on.
I wonder why he gave it 2 instead of 1.
That's a good question. Oh well, because he's got 2, you know.
Yeah, 2 is 1 star for each testicle.
Oh wow!
This is what Star Wars has become. Well, on that wonderful note, we'll see you next time. Tune in later for part 2.